going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. Matt, it was an exciting win. 49ers win 34-10 against Las Vegas Raiders. What were your initial reactions?
I mean, it is preseason. Like I said in our last show, the final score doesn't really concern me as much as what happened during the game. So, there's a lot to go there. Some good, some little up and down, some bad. And, we'll get to it. Overall, though, it's good to see that we came out with a relatively little injuries. I think the only one that I necessarily heard about was Travis Benjamin's potential concussion. So, that's all you can hope for. You want to avoid the major injuries. So that at least there is pretty good. But, we'll dive into the game. But what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Like you said, the final score doesn't really matter too much. The opening drive I thought was really interesting, where we finally saw the aspects of the dual quarterback system. Jimmy Garoppolo for a couple of plays, Trey Lance come in for a couple of plays. There was something that I thought was interesting, and you noted it in our group chat, which was that the kind of whole, quarterback option isn't really going to be a real threat unless Trey keeps it himself at least once. Is that just something you think they were doing just because of preseason, or do you think that was Trey making that choice?
Probably. I think that's something that they'll probably implement more as the game or as the season goes on. They definitely were trying to keep people safe today, but it was an interesting dynamic. It looked okay, but then again, the Raiders are garbage. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I just wonder how this is going to work in the regular season with, potential momentum. Do you halt momentum here? Do you kind of ruin rhythm there? It's going to be interesting to see how they implement it. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. But I will say this. Jimmy Garoppolo definitely looked the best that I've seen him look so far this year. And he definitely, in my mind, cemented why he's going to start week one. And a lot, some of that was him, but a lot of that was Trey Lance. So, hats off to Jimmy for doing what he needed to do. It's going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Jimmy looked good, and it was funny that the first rushing touchdown, I thought it would be Trey Lance, but nope, the day was Jimmy Garoppolo.
I held my breath on that, though, because Jimmy took a huge hit.
It was an awkward fall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of but we talked about it before we went live also. Hasty looked good. You said that he impressed you more than Elijah Mitchell, which was the first time we saw.
Yeah, I was not impressed with Elijah Mitchell, to be honest. He had one where, he stood up a defensive lineman. He kind of truck sticked him. But, there was the play where there was the botched read option that resulted in Lance taking a sack. And to me, that looked like it was Elijah Mitchell not knowing where he needed to be. That looked, I don't know. He just didn't look that great, in my opinion. And to me, Hasty has much more wiggle, much more giddy up, as it were. And I think that Hasty solidified his spot on the team, to be honest. He looked really good.
I agree. He's been impressive, and we've talked about it. I mean, we had an episode of Niners News this past week where did he surpass Wayne Gallman already on the depth chart? Everything he did today just kind of cemented the fact that we both think he did.
Yeah. Well, and the playing time that Gallman got kind of shows us that he probably did, because Gallman didn't really get anything today.
Yep. Speaking of playing time, were you surprised that Tart started and played a good amount of the game?
He played a lot of the game. No, I'm not surprised. I need to see how he's going to do. Limited practice, they're going to get him out there. And he played a lot. He doesn't look 100%. He definitely looks a step slow. And that could just be him rounding into shape. I definitely would like to see him not hit the way that he did on that one hit where it looked like he got the worst of it. He kind of just put his back in there, but he was, he was the same Tart that we know in terms of trying to be all over the place, being near the ball, making good decisions. It's a good start for him, but that, in my opinion, that's all it is a start. He needs to kind of build up to that.
Okay. What about the other kind of highly anticipated return of Jalen Hurd? What did you think about that?
Real bad. it's tough, right? Because you see the fact that they were trying to involve him heavily. You see the fact that he was getting open, but then he had those two just ugly drops, man.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're killing me. You can't, and he doesn't, I don't know. He's going to make the team just because they put a lot into him, but I don't think that Shanahan is going to be happy with how Hurd acquitted himself when Kyle actively tried to make him a part of the game plan today. It was just mixed. I definitely think he's going to make the team, but I think that also, it put a damper on a couple of Trey Lance's drives, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Not that Lance was perfect, by the way. Maybe we should get into that. Trey Lance looks super raw, man. Like, he has this is the third preseason game, and in each preseason game, he has times where you're just like, man, that's an amazing throw, right? And then there are other times where you're just like the slant to Jennings where he just airmailed it. And you're just like, dude, that's a throw you have to make every single time. And so when you're kind of missing the gimmies, that just shows me that he's still raw. He's still trying to work into it. And it's something that could definitely happen. But if Kyle was looking for Lance to snatch the job from Jimmy, today definitely was not the game that you wanted to see, because Jimmy was clearly in control of the offense in a way that Trey wasn't. Trey had a couple of botches in terms of, the Jennings pass, that really weird, play where Mitchell went the wrong way. Yeah. There was the low snap that Trey Lance just kind of bobbled straight up into the air and then kind of had to catch and try to run. It just, a couple of missed opportunities. But then at the same time, right after jamming his thumb on a helmet, he throws a beautiful fade route into the end zone that draws a PI, or, he throws a dart to Juwan Jennings, who catches it. And Jennings had a drop today too on another catch. So Lance, in a lot of situations, was putting the ball in the right place, but he still very much looks like he needs work. So I think they're kind of doing the right thing for now in working Lance in, because he has to have reps. But at the same time, it's pretty clear why they're going to start Jimmy Garoppolo at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I like the fact that he went deep to, was it Benjamin in the end zone there right before the end of the half, just giving his receiver a chance to make a play. And I think it was Tim Ryan said it on air. He throws it to where if it goes out of bounds, it can't be PI because it's a non-catchable ball. So he made sure to throw it short, still inbound, still in the end zone, to where the flag can be thrown. I thought that was impressive and just kind of really smart awareness, really showed his awareness. And again, he executed a 2-minute drive to get his team in position to score right before half. I thought that was impressive as well.
Yeah, it was impressive. But then again, you leave points on the table because that last throw to Warner in the end zone was a little bit behind Warner. And if he puts it out in front of him, Warner catches that and it's a touchdown. So, I agree with Ashok right here that he does need to calm his nerves down. He looks like he's pressing. He looks like he is keenly aware of the fact that this team wants him to start, that this team put so much into him, and he's feeling that pressure of being a new franchise quarterback. And I think a lot of rookies are like that. And that's why you see these rough rookie seasons. He's got some accuracy things. It reminds me a lot of Josh Allen when he first started, where it's just like he'll make some beautiful throws, but then he's got other ones where you're just like, where the heck was he going with that? So he's just got to calm down and just stay within his mechanics, because he starts to get over his skis. He starts to get off balance because he's trying to press to make something happen. It's almost like he's literally counting down a clock in his head, like 1, 2, okay, I got to throw it. So then he gets a little off platform and it doesn't look as good. So we'll see what happens. But again, 10 drops by his wide receivers in the preseason. And a lot of those, like you can say that the ball's coming in hot. Oh, well, that's what he does. So you're going to have to catch those.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about it. I know you're going from pillow soft to piss missile, but you got to catch them. Like, I mean, the one that he threw to Jennings that Jennings caught up high, it looked like Jennings' hands were going to break off, but he still pulled it in. So, that's just the way that it is with Trey Lance.
And on the flip side, too, there was a pass, I think on the first drive from Garoppolo that was broken up because there wasn't enough on it.
Yep, there wasn't enough steam. Yeah, that was, I believe it was a pass to Sherfield. It was a curl route that, he threw it and the DB had enough time to break on it, and just because he doesn't have enough. So, it's a tale of two quarterbacks. It really is. Lance is obviously the more gifted in terms of physical attributes and in terms of being able to get the ball in certain spots. But Jimmy Garoppolo has better command of the offense, and he's a vet. And so I think Jimmy does better with the pressure on him. So it's just, once Lance catches up, we'll see. But as of now, what I was predicting, I was like, man, it could be week 1 where he takes over. Now it's looking, I feel like more, it could be the bye week. It's going to take Lance some time. He has to calm down, and he has to make those gimme plays that are, you have to make that slant pattern. You have to throw that well. And, they said it on the broadcast, and I heard this too. Do it like Tom Brady does. Go a little lower on that, because if the wide receiver catches it, he catches it. But if he doesn't, at least it's going into the ground and it's not going to get picked, That high one, it comes off the hands in a weird way, and we've seen it. Tip drill interceptions all the time, and they're drive killers. So Lance definitely, played well-ish in certain spots. And in other spots, he looked like he's not ready. And, some of that, again, I think some of that, especially when you look at the throw to Jennings, that came, 2 plays after the drop by Hurd. So he might be pressing, but that's one of those things where he just needs more seasoning. That's really important for him to get more work in, because he has to. And that's why I think that it's important that they run this 2-quarterback scheme. It's important for Lance to get these reps. He needs these reps after so long away from football, and he needs to get that experience under his belt for him to kind of relax going in.
I think that's the main thing. And we've talked about it all preseason. It's the rust, it's the inexperience, it's the getting ready. North Dakota State is a huge difference from the NFL. And this isn't even full capacity or, playoff implications. This is the final preseason game. And even that's a big change. So the energy is totally different. And I think Lance will get there. And I agree with you, Matt. Now you're saying probably the bye week. But I just think that we're seeing progression. And I think the rust is starting to come off. But there's still more time that needs to be, with Jimmy as the starter, with Lance maybe sprinkled in here and there.
Well, and he needs those reps that they're, him exchanging. And I hope they do this like the whole game, where he's going to not just the worst thing that can happen is that they only rely on Lance's physical gifts when he comes in. That it's only read option stuff, because he has to throw the football too. Yeah. He has to get those reps in to, again, get comfortable with those gimme throws. If they don't do that, then they're just kind of wasting time. And it's just another situation of, okay, he didn't play in 2020 and now he's behind Jimmy, and they never bring him in to throw passes. They only bring him in to run the read option. So then when's he supposed to learn? When's he supposed to develop, and that makes it hard, because in practice, it's going to be all reps for the first teamers. So as long as they do this 2 system, that's all they can do. Daddy-O says, I'm not going to say all that about Jimmy with him being better under pressure. Not pressure from like defensive linemen, not pressure like in the game, the pressure of the moment, the pressure of, hey, this is a competition. You're coming for my job. The pressure of, hey, I'm in charge of this offense. We got to get this stuff going, and not letting bad things kind of snowball on top of you. I think Jimmy has more experience in that regard and is a little better equipped to handle the tense moments and the tense situations than Lance is, because Lance hasn't had to deal with it. That's what I mean.
Pressure,
yeah. Situational pressure. Absolutely. Like by, defensive backs or defensive linemen or whatever. Jimmy's terrible. Let's be real. That wasn't what I was saying at all. I want to go back to Melissa's comment about Trent Sherfield, because he looked like a baller today.
He cemented his spot on this roster for sure.
He was nice. He was nice. Yeah, he's definitely on this roster. He definitely got himself a roster spot today. I mean, he looked great. With Jimmy, he looked, he was out there catching passes. He had a nice one on the comeback route on the sideline. It's just really, really good, man.
Yeah. I'm really impressed by him. Also, I'm continuing to be impressed by Diamador Lenore. He's been playing really well. And I know he gave up one big catch. I thought he had pretty good coverage on. Maybe
he did. That's part of this like off-ball coverage that the 49ers play. They kind of teach, like, they don't really get their heads around sometimes. And when you have, and that throw from Peterman was like really good. So when you have throws like that, it makes it more difficult to kind of, I don't know. It's difficult to make a play on the ball when you're not even looking for it. And that's just, again, that's just these type of moments.
Yeah,
and
I agree. But
on this defense, But he looks way better than Ambry Thomas, who is struggling. And Ambry Thomas is making me feel terrible about vouching for him when we drafted him.
Tehran says, you fellas are right. It literally took Josh Allen 3 years to get to where he is now. With more reps, he'll be dangerous.
And they played Josh Allen. And that's the thing. You have to work through those struggles. If you just go with Jimmy Garoppolo the whole season and Joey Arredondo saying that some people want to limit Trey reps because he isn't ready, and asking how much longer on the bench does Trey need to be ready, he's not going to get ready on the bench. That's the thing. His thing is he needs experience. And again, in practice during the regular season, the ones are taking all the reps. So if they're not sprinkling in Lance during the game or running packages for him, he's not going to get that. And he's not going to get better in game situations. It's not that he can't throw a slant. In practice, I'm sure he's killing it. I'm sure he's throwing them perfectly. It has to be in a game situation with the pressure of the defense up in your face and making that throw. And the only way that you can get there is with experience. So I don't think they should limit his reps at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And you've talked about this previously too. As soon as you get into the actual season, and you said it again right now, he's not going to be practicing against the ones. He's going to be practicing against the twos. And he's not taking starter reps. It's going to be harder for him to progress. So I think the plays that he sprinkled into the actual games are going to be crucial for his development. And I guess we'll see how quickly that happens. We saw the return of Trey Sermon as well today.
Yeah.
How did he look to you?
I thought he looked good, man. I like Trey Sermon a lot.
Yeah.
It's funny, the day that I was kind of thinking man, Mostert looks like he might be low-key overrated by the fan base or whatever. He comes out, has 4 carries for 50 yards. So
he was quick.
Yeah, he looked good. But Sermon also looked really good. And I think Sermon is firmly the number 2 running back on the team. I don't think there's any question about that. He just looks solid. He looks like a really good running back. And it's exactly what you would expect out of a third pick from a major school, a third-round pick from a major school. Yeah. He came out and looked really good. If he can just a lot of these running backs too, Hasty as well, if they can just limit the amount of time they put the ball on the ground, Mostert as well. Mostert has always had a fumble problem. Then this is going to be a great run team. And I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers go into week 3 healthy if we just start Green Bay and just run it down their throat again. Because Green Bay's still going to be soft on defense. Let's be real.
Yeah, seriously. There was a couple comments in here from Fernando, and I think he wants us to talk about Mitch because he's commented a few times. He had one, if I remember correctly, good kick that went out at the 2-yard line, something like that. But other than that, is it time to maybe start looking for a new punter?
I don't really care about punter. Next.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't like Mitch. I think the fact that they drafted him.
That's why.
They're angry.
Why.
They're angry.
Yeah.
Sherfield has definitely been balling out since training camp. I agree. The D-line completely balled out. They've been playing fantastically the whole preseason.
Yep.
Guys like Arden Key stepped up, which, by the way, he was the game graphic for the 49ers. Thought that was pretty cool. Shout out going against his former team. But yeah, I thought they did good. Jordan Willis, I think, had a sack.
I thought Kinlaw looked pretty good.
Kinlaw looked good as well.
Kinlaw looked pretty good. So, dude, they're gonna be stout, and we're gonna lose some names. We're gonna lose some names that people are not gonna be happy with. But
it's just the nature of the business.
Yeah. Especially when you got a group this deep, at running back.
Yep. Hung Fast says they called Sermon Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just local
I think
guys.
Bell is a little faster, if I remember correctly.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. It's a little early for that.
That's fair. Yeah. Collie says, you see that stiff arm by Mostert on the linebacker? Not bad for a low-key overrated player living off what he did in 2019. Shots at Matt.
Yeah, hey, that's fine. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. But his career has 137 carries in his career yardage in a season of 772. So if he can improve on that, then I'll be quiet. But for now, he just did nice in a preseason game.
Yeah, the stiff arm was nice, though.
Come see me at the end of the season, bro. He still held this team up for money and then got hurt. So
that's fair. Tehran says, I'll be honest, after Ayuk, Samuel, and Sherfield, I'm worried about a wide receiver room. I don't think there's a need to be.
Sanu's fine.
Yeah, and after those guys, I mean, name me a team that has good players after their top 3 receivers
Right.
You're not going to find one. I think that they're the top 3, top 4 tops is what's most important. I think the Niners have a good group here. Not as deep
For
as a
sure.
running back, but still good. And Sherfield definitely added to the quality of that overall group. He brought it up.
For sure. For sure.
I don't see the comparison. I think he's talking about, oh yeah, Clinton Dix had a nice pick today. I don't know if you caught that. I know you said Game Pass.
Yeah, I did.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it's Nathan Peterman though. Again, that's why it's really tough to judge, because it's like, even with the first team offense, they weren't playing like the Raiders' super good starters. They left like 40 dudes back in Vegas. So
yeah, it was crazy.
Like, they didn't even play Marcus Mariota, their backup quarterback. They just started Nate Peterman, and they haven't played Carr or Mariota the entire preseason. I don't know what Gruden's doing, but that, like, this, I'm smelling it, and this team smells like a 4-13 team to me. Gruden is not it, man.
It seems like he's a little. He's past his.
The game has passed his.
Yep.
The game has passed him by.
Yep. Joey Hernandez says, can we talk about Hufanga's speed? He got to the quarterback quick on a blitz he had.
He was hella fast, and he had to go around the line too. He blitzed from the right side, got to the center, and he was like, "Oh, there's too many people here. Let me go around to the left," and still got to the quarterback.
Yeah,
it was.
I thought he looked good. He continues to press as well.
He's nice,
like Lenore.
He's great tackler. He's nice.
Yeah.
And the key on that blitz was Peterman got the ball away, but Hufanga didn't blow him up, which is like, for a kid coming straight out of college, for him not to just straight up blow him up. Heady play from him. I'm very impressed with Hufanga. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I agree. He continues to impress. Very, very well. Aware of the moment, because if he goes full blitz, full speed, just like you said, that's a penalty, and it kind of negates the whole good play. Jennings had an ugly play, but Juwan over Jalen every day. Do you agree with that? You think Jennings is shown more than Hurd? Obviously, he's shown more, but do you think stock wise you would take Jennings as of right now over Hurd?
I think they'll keep them both, but Jalen Hurd, again, they game plan specifically for him. And he just didn't impress me.
Not even in like the end around running, the run play where they gave him the ball and had blockers. It wasn't much, man. And the passes that he was throwing,
a yard.
It was disappointing. It really was. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Like the advantage that he allegedly had over Jawan Jennings was that he would more explosive, but he doesn't look as explosive to me as he did. So I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. Let's see, going through. I worry about Samuel's nagging injuries. This resonates with you, Matt. I know you've talked about this repeatedly. He didn't get injured today, right?
He didn't get injured today. He just left the game. He looked fine to me.
Yeah.
He had a catch that looked pretty good. So
yep. Hufanga blitzes are going to be a highlight this season. Yep. That's nice. Talanoa. Gruden looks clueless out there. Wow.
He is. He doesn't know what he's doing, man.
Yep. John Gruden is overrated. Styles outdated. Man, the chat is coming for John Gruden.
Right?
Yeah. Haha always gets balls thrown right to him.
Yeah.
Hurd should have been moved to tight end instead of Matthews, in my opinion. Big target. Maybe not big enough.
He's too thin.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Haha Clinton did? Dan Agati?
He's all right.
You think he'll make it?
Josh Erickson, what don't you agree with? Spell it out.
I don't know.
We'll move on until he does, but
yeah, let us know.
Clinton Dix is fine. Good depth.
They pushed hard on field with Ryan and Papa. It was very underwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't impressed.
Tart back. Yeah, we talked about that. I was happy to see Tart suit up. I honestly was surprised.
Yeah, it's good. He played a lot. He played a lot more than I thought he was going to play. But again, this is just the beginning for him. That toe has to hold up.
Yeah. How about, I assume this means Greenlaw?
Don't know.
Yeah. And then
okay.
Same old with Greenlaw. Yep. What were things that you felt like you wanted to see a little more of, or that you were kind of not impressed by the offense?
I don't know. I wanted to see more of Lance under center. I thought that they were running him out of shotgun a lot, like pistol formation a lot. And so I wanted to see him a little bit more under center. I wanted to see. I mean, we got a lot of Lance afterwards, and it didn't look like he started to settle down until after they stopped doing that switcheroo thing. That first pass that Lance threw, it's like, what? Who was that going towards? So he just kind of fired it into the ground, and I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, I agree. And if I remember correctly, he took a lot under center from North Dakota State. So I'm not sure why they're maybe just to fake the handoff, get that option in there as well.
Wait, what does this comment mean? Can you translate this for me? Because that's not English.
Our defense is
our offensive O-line, dude.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, nobody knows. Okay.
Terrence says the Samuel reference was due to my comment regarding concerns over our injury room. Oh, okay, so he was saying he's concerned about the wide receiver room as a whole because Samuel continues to get injured. I think that's a fair concern.
Yeah, but there's not a lot they can do about it now.
No.
They've kind of made their bed and they're going to have to lie in it, you know? They had opportunities to get other people and then, yeah.
The only thing comfort I would offer is that now that you have Ayuk and Sherfield stepping up underneath, maybe the veterans to new, at least it's not Samuel or nothing. There are other guys who can contribute. So Papa's calling.
Nice to see.
Go ahead.
Nice to see Kittle get his jersey a little dirty today. He had the one catch and he pinballed a couple guys, went to the ground, and they were like, all right, that's enough from you.
It was kind of an awkward fall, too. That's why I'm like, all right, that's enough. Get him out of here. We need less injuries. Yeah, I mean, every team, but yeah.
We made it out without super serious ones, though.
Travis Benjamin, we talked about him. He had the head injury. He's had repeated concussions, if I remember
correctly. Can you ban this Josh Erickson? Hold on. Josh Erickson, you're going to get banned. You're being nonsensical, dude.
But back to Travis Benjamin, he's had repeated concussion in the past, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had that one when he was with Cleveland. He got like wrecked. Wait, was that him?
I think it might have been.
Was it Travis Benjamin or was it? They had another returner. I confused Travis Benjamin with sometimes. I don't know, but as long as he clears the concussion protocol, I think he offers enough as a wide receiver and a special teamer to kind of nudge Simba Webster out to be the returner for right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think so too. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment just because the veteran presence he brings and he's shown enough, I think. And Webster hasn't shown as much. I think you got to give the nod to Benjamin there. A shock fire, Greg Papa. A lot of people are not liking Greg Papa, which
he's not great, man. He's not great. And I remember him on the old Raiders broadcast. I'm like, you guys can have him back.
Yeah.
He's not very good. They could do so much better.
I said it in the chat. He was better on radio, but also the expectations could be lower. Like I would always listen to him when I would be driving and listening to the games.
Yeah. I'm just glad that I have Sunday ticket and I don't have to watch the K-Pix broadcast during the season. I'm going to get the Fox announcers and that's fine with me.
And
I'm going to get Spiro Diaz and Dan Fouts or something, right? Like,
well, yeah, that's true.
Iron Eagle and whoever else, right? I'm going to get guys who aren't great, but Greg Papa's so bad that I just don't care at this point.
At least I think he took the note not to scream Trey area after a touchdown or a big pass because we did not hear that today. But I appreciated that. Ian Sharp says Kyle's giving Hurd every chance, but he's on limited time now to show up. The time's over.
Yeah, and I don't think that he impressed the way that Kyle was hoping he would. I think that Kyle's going to go into that room disappointed with those two drops. Because if Hurd if Hurd makes those two catches, we were like, oh, dang, Hurd showed up today. He did a lot of good stuff. And he did have a couple of catches, like no doubt, but he also had two big drops that were critical. Both were for first downs. So
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Josh Erickson, you can stay now. Good job. That's a good comment. I'll take that. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Good job. Appreciate you.
Hasty. Yeah. Hasty, tasty. Tasty, hasty. I love that. Was worse.
Yeah, but that call is awful.
What's that?
I don't like tasty, hasty. That's really fair. Weird to me, dude.
It's
really weird.
Yeah. Maybe a little uncomfortable, but he looked good.
It is. What, Tim Ryan, what do you want to do? You want to lick hasty? That's weird, man.
Maybe he's saying he already has. It sounds like he's talking from experience.
All right, move on. We're going to get in trouble.
He looked good. Look, Hasty,
Hasty
running
looked
style
great.
looked good.
Hasty
A
looked
nice
great.
2 touchdowns. I'm impressed by Hasty, and I hope he continues to show this once the regular season starts. Collie says the RPO play with Mitchell looked like Mitchell was confused, lined up on the wrong side of Lance. Yep, that was 100% on Mitchell. Lance, it was he held it out there.
I don't think that he lined up on the wrong side. I think it was a counter play.
Yeah,
where Mitchell was supposed to take a step to the right and then come back across Lance's body to the left. But because if he was on the wrong side, then that's on Trey Lance to put him on the right side. And we saw Lance directing people all game. So it's not like Lance didn't know where he was supposed to be. I think Mitchell just forgot which side he was supposed to take the handoff from.
Yeah. And Lance just kind of waited there hoping he would show up, and he didn't. And then, of course, he got sacked. So it was just kind of a bad play all around. Shock says all the vets on offense clearly look like they're on Jimmy's side, and the way they celebrate, etc. With Trey, I feel like that doesn't help Trey settle down. I wouldn't say they're all on Jimmy's side, but maybe a few notable ones.
I think the important ones are on Jimmy's side, and that makes it hard for Trey. But I also think that that's why Kyle is taking the decision out of his hands and waiting for Jimmy to kind of hang himself, you know?
Yeah. Hang himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Collie, Papa's better on radio. I totally agree.
I think it's because he actually has to call down, distance, hash, and he's being more descriptive rather than being like, oh, I'm on TV, so I can give you the little zinger catchphrases.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. It's the same reason why I think what's his face is better on the radio. Dang, I'm forgetting. He used to be in Madden. Gus Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Gus Johnson to me is better on the radio. I don't need to hear about his running from the cops speed thing. Like he's got running from the cops speed. Like, oh, come on, man.
Ryan Johnson, Greg Papa's was so
Taryn, we're not going to put this comment on the screen just because I don't want to kind of bring that up on our stream. But if you DM me, I'll go over that with you. And thank you for your service, by the way.
Yeah. Let's see. I said I'd rather listen to people on Twitter Spaces do a play-by-play.
Kinda.
It's a bit awkward. It feels like I mean, obviously it's forced, but it just feels
would
like
be so cool if like Sunday Ticket or whatever would give you the option to mute the announcers just so you could have the stadium ambiance without having to listen to play-by-play.
There was a streaming service that allowed you to do that. I forget which one. It was one of these up-and-coming ones that allowed you to either mute it entirely, go with the broadcast commentators, or have their own. I forget which one it was, but I remember it came out like a couple of years ago, and I think Mike from Nothing But Niners, they signed up to do it because you could also sign up to commentate. Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I warn you, if you get Joe Buck and Trey Aikman, ain't pretty.
Yeah, I hate that too. That too.
Yep. Let's see.
Joe Buck is ruinous, man.
Shock. I work for Fox, Melissa, and maybe I'm biased, but Joe Buck and Troy are better than CBS and ESPN. I hate CBS. I can't stand when the Niners get CBS broadcasts. I prefer Fox.
That's when we get Spiro Diaz and Dan Fouts.
Yeah.
It's because we don't listen. I'll tell you this much. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are not better than Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Sorry. They're just not. They're just not. Nantz and Romo are the best.
But that's their top team. After that,
right. And the 49ers never get them.
No.
I'm just saying. And ESPN only has slaps working for them. ESPN's broadcast has sucked for a while now.
It's gone downhill.
Yeah.
Josh Erickson, why did they switch quarterbacks in the first?
That was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the plan for the first part of the season too.
Yep. They trying to sprinkle it in, get both players reps with the starters. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, but hey, that's the plan, and it worked.
I don't necessarily like it either, but we'll see how it goes.
At least it didn't take away much momentum. You know, like they kept the ball rolling or moving, and they got some points out of it. Melissa says, my dad's a Giants fan. I've seen too many New York Giants games where Buck sucks up to Troy talking about his heydays, making it more about Troy than the game. It's not fun for me, but I'd take them over Booger on ESPN. Wasn't he removed?
Just the name Booger is all that you need to hear. Yeah, I don't think he's on there anymore. They have like a brand new broadcast team.
They cleared house, yeah.
Yeah.
Did Travis Fletcher have a concussion?
That's what it's looking like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Maybe Trey is better at the red zone. I don't know.
They just want to sprinkle Trey in to try to keep getting him ready.
Yeah. Is it Fubo? It might have been Fubo. I don't remember exactly.
Fubo is still around, but I don't have it.
It might be that one. I'm not sure. Dan Gotti, how are you guys feeling about D Ford? Confident, worried, so?
I'm wait and see. That's where I'm at. I want to see him in the games, and I want to see him last more than just a couple.
Yeah.
So if he's still in there in like November, then sweet.
I think I'm as confident as I've been in the last maybe year and a half or however long it's been since he's played. It seems like he's trending upward. That's what all the reports from the coaching staff, reporters that are at practice, they seem to continuously report that he's looking good. And some of the clips I've watched, he's been impressive.
He does look good.
He does look good. I like Tony Gromo. Yep.
Yeah, he's great.
ESPN programming sucks, period, nowadays. That's a fact.
Facts.
That's a fact.
The only thing good on ESPN is College Game Day.
Yep. Dante Hittner joined CBS now. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Good for him. And Joe Staley joined NBC Sports Bay Area here in the local. So I'm excited to watch that pregame, postgame. I'm not sure if you get it there in San Diego, Matt, but it's
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything I'm gonna watch is gonna be on Sunday Ticket.
Makes sense. Tehran, I only think Jimmy G is starting because the 49ers have a Super Bowl roster.
That's probably why he's starting to begin the season. When Trey shows enough that they feel it's at even or better for Trey, then I think that Trey is going to play. It's going to take the job. But he needs more snaps. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, definitely. ESPN needs to bring back Chris Berman. He's a Niners fan. I didn't know that.
He's also like half dead too. He has the ESPN Plus, the NFL primetime that's behind the paywall.
Yeah. Who disappointed you the most in the last preseason game? Who are you expecting to show out and bombed?
I think I'm most disappointed. I'm most disappointed in Trey Lance, not because I think that he did necessarily bad, but that because I wanted him to like steal the job.
Yeah.
And he just didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, but that's partially on me though, too, because expectations are so high that we're like, oh man, he should take it right away. But, he needs more seasoning. And out of all the rookie quarterbacks, he looks the most like raw for sure.
I agree.
As for somebody who I expected to show out and bombed, Elijah Mitchell and Jalen Hurd, both were disappointing to me. I don't think either of them did very well.
Yep, you took my answer. I was going to say Elijah Mitchell. I think that, we were finally going to see him. He was going to at least show something. Not much. Even as a kickoff returner, it wasn't much. So I was hoping to see more from him.
Yep.
Let's see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them. Does Ambry make the 53? Yep.
Yes. He's a third round pick. He's making it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say draft position alone. No one, in my opinion, was better than the late, great Pat Summerall and John Madden.
They were great until like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then it was a disaster because John Madden's like just stumbling and bumbling all over his words. And boom, boom. That's all he would do. And, Pat Summerall sounded like he was half asleep all the time. Yeah. But in like the 80s and 90s, they were sick. They were hella good.
Yeah. I want to get your reaction, Matt, to this tweet from Louis Riddick.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Put 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans on your head coach watch list. How way too soon is this tweet?
Dude, way too soon.
Right.
Way too soon. It's like when you go to bake a cake and you preheat the oven and then you put the cake in, you look at your watch and then you take the cake out. That's how early it is.
I thought it was a bit premature to say
a lot
least.
Premature.
Yeah, it's like let the guy play one regular season or coach one regular season game, maybe.
For sure.
Yeah. Taryn, I heard D Ford has been dominant in practice. If Ford is healthy, I'm not worried.
But that's key though, is if healthy.
Yeah. Asterisk, giant asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to this comment. I still feel Trey's not getting the plays he's good at. What's the point of 9-11 throws out of shotgun with no bootlegs and misdirection?
I still think that's the thing. It's weird because I feel like in the regular season, I feel like they're going to use him differently, that they're just not trying to show it right now.
Yeah.
So, but it is kind of one of those things where you're like, well, if the goal is to get Trey ready, then I also think that it's a good idea to run plays for him that he's not good at so that he could shore up those things.
Yeah. I agree. And also, not wanting to tip your hat. If this is Kyle's, X Factor secret weapon later on in the season, maybe he doesn't want teams to have anything that they plan on using, That's why all of these, quarterback option plays, hands it off. We don't see much, if any, of his mobility. I think we saw like one or two scrambles where the kind of pocket broke down due to pressure. But other than that, there weren't really any designed runs. So maybe they're just trying to not show much and give teams much to work with later on in the season. But I do agree. It's tough if you're trying to get him prepped and get him the experience that he needs. If you're giving him experience on things that he's not going to do when the real time comes, you're kind of in a catch-22 there. At least to make him feel confident, see how his face looked less nervous on that first touchdown pass he did on Chiefs game. I mean, he's the nerves are there. He's a rookie quarterback coming from a smaller school. Like we said, now he's going into a big stadium, and that's, preseason, but still it's the biggest one. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you, Tehran. Thanks for the great show.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Hit that subscribe button, guys, if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers so we can give away a 49ers jersey. If you're watching on Twitter, hit that follow button. We're trying to reach 10,000 followers so we can also give away a jersey there. 2 chances to win a jersey. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter. And while we're here, Matt, we might as well say a quick thank you to our sponsors. The first one is Acre Gold. Click the link in the bio. Start buying gold for as little as $50 a month. Once you reach the market price of 2.5 grams, they will send you a small gold bar, 2.5 grams worth. It's really cool. People don't have to fork out, $200-$300 at once to buy gold. You can slowly chip away at it, and once you reach that market price, like I said, you will get one in the mail. It's really cool. Also, shout out to 81 by Terrell Owens. Go to 81vino.com, 81VINO, enter code HIVE, and you will get 10% off your entire purchase. Also, it's good for shipping on, free shipping on 2 or more bottles. Lastly, our merch store, shop49ershive.com, code RGS15 for 15% off your entire purchase. We got Trey Area merch, we got Warner Bread merch, we got Trey Draft Night merch, the whole 9 yards. Go check it out, guys. Support the show. We appreciate you all. We're going to go into some comments here, some questions, and then we'll wrap things up. Let's see. Diamador, Lenore, greater than Ambry, but both got stuff to work on. Yep. Lenore looks good, though. Did Trey throw at all when he was in with the ones?
He threw one pass, and he kind of skipped it off the ground. It was a weird-looking pass where he was kind of – it looked like he couldn't decide between the 2 guys that were in the area that he wanted to throw it. So it didn't get to anybody. Yeah.
Fernando, I'm most disappointed in Ambry Thomas as well.
Yep.
That's fair. Yeah. I forgot about him when talking about that. Josh says, sorry for almost getting banned, but Niners for life, baby. That's all right, man. Niners for life for sure. Melissa, Matt, and Zach, please, thoughts on current key. Oh, I'm sorry, Melissa. I know you've asked this like 3 times. I've missed your question. Thoughts on current key. Do they both make the 53?
I don't know that they have room for both. That's the issue.
I think Key, unfortunately, because I really like
think
Zach
Key
Kerr.
is going to make it. I like Zach Kerr too, but I don't think that he's going to make it.
Yeah.
They have too much at that position. I know that there was a report that the 49ers had fielded inquiries about their defensive linemen. So hopefully they can like swing a trade or 2.
They got enough there, man. Hopefully. Riddick, stay away from our coaches. Do you remember when he was being interviewed or rumored to be interviewed for the GM
job? Yeah.
And then he didn't get it, and how salty
he was. Salty with us for like a year. Yeah.
Yep. Kali, all right. Kerr is making it. You're gonna have to pull the receipts on us in a week or so. See what happens.
In a week or so. Tuesday.
Tuesday,
yeah. We'll talk about we'll bring you Niners news probably Wednesday morning based on who got cut.
Yeah. My disappointment is Ambry Thomas. The guy is giving me Spoon vibes, especially with the no contact softness. Daddy-o killing it, man.
I know. Yeah.
It's tough, man.
They're good. And then he's handsy as all get out in coverage too, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, I agree. Cool. Yeah, he's been disappointing to say the least. But hey, he's a rookie. Hopefully he can bring that back, get it back to par. Everybody's talking about the center making it, but that was a fugly low snap to Lance.
Who was that snapped that?
That's a good question.
I don't remember who it was.
It was an ugly snap.
Very bad snap.
Yeah. I would possibly trade Given since we're deep at interior D-line.
I think they're going to be trying for sure.
Yeah. Josh Harrison, 34-10. The game's over. I don't know if you're elsewhere. Let me see. We got a lot of questions. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys. All of your questions. We love it. Joey, what do you guys think of Jimmy taking off more? He had that first down last week and then the touchdown run today, and they weren't sneaks either.
I'll say this. He looks a little more spry than he did. I think maybe he has full confidence in that knee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still not like he's, super fast or whatever, but he's shown a little more wiggle than he did. Yeah. Just don't go to the sideline and try to juke anybody again.
Yeah.
Especially not the right sideline. He went left last time. Don't go right this time.
Yeah. Josh Erickson, I like gold. Click that link, baby.
There you go.
Get your Acre Gold today. Matt, did you like what you saw at Tart today?
I thought it was a good first step. I think he really needs to work himself into football shape, and I really think that he needs to test that toe more because he did look a step off of what we're used to seeing him at. Whereas, like, he was like a step late getting to a ball carrier, So it's a good first step, though. If he comes out of it and he can play to start the season, that's all we can hope for right now, and then just hope that he can build on it.
Yeah. Taron, I'm the only super chat. Give the jersey to me. Just kidding, brothers. Is that a bribe?
Sounds like it to me.
Yeah. Did anybody else hate Jimmy G going head first with a touchdown run? It was awkward.
I don't mind head first. He kind of went like back first though. Like he turned his back, which it's also, I guess that's also fine too because he wears that big flak jacket. So I'm fine with it. He can't go feet first because where he gives himself up on the feet first slide is, that's where they would call it down. So we would have been down like at the goal line, and then it's just like, okay, what's the point of that? It was awkward. It looked pretty bad, but he's going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson, rich receiver, will have the most receptions at the end of the year. My pick is Sherfield. Wow.
Ayuk.
It's got to be Ayuk.
Yeah.
Sherfield's going to be impressive, but I think once
Ayuk's going to have like between 70 and 80 catches this year.
Yeah. I would give Sherfield similar to Kendrick Bourne.
He'll get like 35, 40.
Yeah.
Debo get like 60 with like a bunch of jet sweeps and stuff. But Ayuk is going to be, and then Kittle, depending on who's in there or whatever, I feel like Kittle will get between, it's hard to judge him, but like between 60 and 80. But I think Kittle will, have a lot of yak yardage. So I don't know. It's going to be Ayuk and Kittle as the top two guys on this team, though.
Yeah. Shock, when Jimmy takes off, to be honest, I feel like he is putting himself at risk to get hurt since his technique at rushing and safe sliding is the worst. We don't want him hurt and force a Trey start.
I don't know if I agree with that. His slide against the Chargers was actually like textbook.
Mm-hmm.
That feet first slide, that was a great slide.
Mm-hmm.
That looked like he was sliding into second base in baseball. So that
one was good. Yeah.
It's a good slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does put himself at risk, though, for sure.
He does. This comment's funny. They're a little small. I know you're talking about my 2.5 gram gold bar. Matt calls it a gold stamp.
It's
2.5 grams.
When you order this thing, ladies and gentlemen, get your envelopes ready.
It's 2.5 grams. It's going to look the same wherever you buy 2.5 grams from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stack them up.
There you go.
Ryan Johnson, over or under 15 passing TDs for Lance this year?
That's actually a good number. I think 15 is about the number.
Okay.
And then I think you could. It's hard because it depends, right? Like how quickly does Lance get ready for the role? How quickly does Lance get ready for the job? Yeah. If they do this 2-system quarterback thing all year, then 15 sounds about right. So actually, in order to answer the question, I'm gonna say over because I don't think that it's gonna last the whole year because I don't think that it can.
Okay. I'm gonna go under the assumption it does, and Jimmy somehow fights him off for 17 games. I'm going to go under just because I think when they bring him in, he might run a little more than pass in the end zone. They might use that, but that's just to spice things up. Sherfield or Debo, if Debo stays healthy, are my picks. I assume to lead the team in catches.
Yeah.
I still think it's Ayuk.
I think everybody's being a prisoner of the moment with Sherfield.
Yeah.
That's why I think we all need to pump the brakes. Sherfield's a wide receiver 3/4.
Yeah.
He's not going to get those opportunities that the other guys get. He looked really good today, though, and he's going to make the team.
Do you remember, gosh, it was a few years back. I know Niners Nation runs with it every offseason. Is it Corey Sheets, the running back? He was like a preseason stud.
That happens all the time.
Exactly. And everybody thought, 1,000-yard rusher, and then he didn't make the team.
Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor balling out again
every
in
year.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
Every year.
Yep. It's just that thing, man. It doesn't translate.
It tightens up when you're consistently against the other team's number ones.
That's also
For
a good
sure.
point. Yeah. Taron Ambry
Like-
Thomas's attempt. Oh, go ahead.
Like Trent Sherfield is not getting loose against Jalen Ramsey. Like that's just not happening. Jalen Ramsey gonna lock his ass up all day.
Yeah, exactly. Ambry Thomas's attempted tackle was softer than Cotton SMH.
Yep, not great.
No.
He's making me look
Hasty
bad.
was so good. Hasty was great. Arizona is launching sports betting from 9-9 on the side note.
That's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, good for
I'm
them.
not a gambler. I don't like giving away stuff for free.
If you guys are, go check out our guys over at Play Pickup. They're great. You can gamble on a bunch of things, and once you win, you can win a bunch of cool prizes. We partner with them, and they're really great guys. So go check them out. Melissa, New York Jets just made a trade for a defensive line. Do you see Saleh coming for one of ours by trade or wait for cut? That's a really good question.
Yeah,
I think he could. Familiarity's there. He knows the guys. They like playing for him.
And they've had a lot of injuries too. I think but yeah, so they traded for Shaq Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
So they could come from one of the interior guys, I think. You know, whether it's a Givens, whether it's a Kerr or whatever. But I think some of the teams are just going to wait for us to try to cut the other guys because they know that if we're going to do a deal, we got to get it done quick because the Tuesday deadline's going to hit and we're going to have to cut those guys anyway.
Yeah. I remember when he was interviewed along with Josh McDaniels. Yeah.
Dodge that bullet.
Can you imagine? I remember at the time some fans were disappointed that didn't work out. So, man.
And then he interviewed with Indy, got the job, and then was like, nah, never mind.
I'm cool. Brendel, I believe. So I think that was the high snap, maybe from
the center. That was a low snap.
Low snap. That's right. Yeah.
Woof. Yeah. That was a bad snap, all the way around.
I got my dream this offseason finally see Josh Hockett play.
Yeah.
Local
sadly, he's gone come Tuesday. They're not carrying two fullbacks.
Yeah. He's a preseason guy. I think he knew that though. Collie says Jimmy isn't wearing the knee brace. That's interesting.
I know. Yep.
I mean, at this point, it was all mental, right?
Yeah, but then they have some guys like Tom Brady still wears a knee brace.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just based on what you're comfortable with.
Don't lead with the head, Jimmy. Very fair advice.
Yep.
Taryn agrees it'll be Ayuk. Yep. Let me see. Hung Fat. What do you want to see in week 1 versus Detroit from Jimmy?
No bad Jimmy throws.
Yeah.
Just play your game. Play a solid game. That's it. This is an infinitely beatable team. I'd like to see Jimmy do enough to get us a lead. That way Lance can get more run. Because I think that's how it's going to go. If Jimmy and the offense can get us out to a bigger first-round lead, or a first-quarter lead, or half, whatever, you can definitely see Trey Lance getting more reps or whatever while they're up. And then you don't have pressure. It's not like he has to make this come from behind win or whatever. And you're getting him out there and you're slowly getting him more and more ready. But if it's third quarter and the 49ers are tied or down by 3 or whatever, Lance isn't going to be in enough of a rhythm. And so you're relying on Jimmy to kind of bring you back from that. And I just don't know if that's, I don't know.
I want to see Jimmy just protect the ball, like you said, no dumb throws, but also push the ball, push it down. Yeah. I mean, if you could do both things simultaneously, you got a pretty good job at keeping Lance on the bench.
That was the one throw. Well, other than the pass breakup, that was the one throw that I actually didn't like from Jimmy. Is that deep fade he threw to Sanu where the feet got tangled up?
Mm-hmm.
Because the corner was out in front of Sanu. If the feet didn't get tangled up, that was a pick.
Yeah,
100%, that's a pick.
Yeah.
So
smart deep throws.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I know what you mean. Fernando's Trey Lance says that he's not worried about his hand that he hit on a defender's helmet after a throw. Quote, we'll see how it feels tomorrow, but no, I'm not worried about it at all.
Didn't look like it was bad because he threw a beautiful play, or he threw a beautiful ball in the end zone right after that. So yeah, that's just one of the, and we've all done it. We jam a finger and it hurts for a second and then it stops.
Yeah.
I think he was looking at it to make sure nothing was dislocated, and people were like, "Oh, he's checking his hand. It's so bad." And it's just all right, that's fine.
Yeah. I was nervous because the commentators kept referring to it, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I asked you in the chat, and you were like, nah, it's no biggie. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
What about Kyle? I assume this means what do we want to see from Kyle? in
Good
week
play
1 versus
calling.
Detroit. Yeah.
Good play calling.
Do you want to continue to
dial up
see?
them blitzes and kill Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you want to continue to
figuratively
see?
speaking, YouTube. Figuratively speaking.
Yes. Do you want to continue to see the whole play-by-play switch out, switch in, or would you rather prefer series or situational like red zone?
They have to do it the way they're doing it. That's the only way that's really going to work. But I don't know. It just doesn't do a lot for Lance, in my opinion.
No. Joey, that was a slide of the DM slide. I saw you tweet nice. That the Jimmy against the Chargers sliding into your girl's DM. That was hilarious. That was a good tweet. After today, I'd rather Charlie Warner make the practice squad than the 53. I don't think that he was that bad.
I thought he was good.
Yeah.
And that pass in the end zone wasn't his fault. That was behind him. That was on Lance.
And I think he has enough on tape for the Niners to know who he is as a player.
Yep.
So, Taron, I'll make a bold prediction and say Ebukam will lead the team in sacks. Wow. With this loaded defensive line, Sosa is going to lead the team in sacks.
I still think that it's going to be Nick Bosa.
It's got to be Bosa.
Yeah, it's going to be Bosa.
Yeah.
Bosa's going to have like 14 sacks this year. He's going to ball out.
Yeah. Probably one of the easiest rushing touchdowns I'll ever have. The offensive line did a great job. Trey Lance on rotating in and out with Jimmy and his rushing touchdown.
Exactly what he's supposed to say.
Love giving credit. You love to see it from a rookie. Yep.
That's going to make the O-line drop, block a little harder for him too.
Yep. Okay, real quick before I get to this comment, did you see Tim Ryan when he was talking about, I think it was Jalen Hurd, that end around, and he was kind of insinuating that Travis Benjamin didn't hold the block as well as he should have because he knows they're competing. And I'm like, Ryan, come on. That's also Benjamin's job to hold that block.
This is why I don't watch local announcing.
Yeah. Tim Ryan's kind of been almost
trash.
Bad. Yeah, as Papa.
It's not a great broadcast, I'll say that.
Melissa says Ayuk has been a drop king. He is great, but he's got to prove it to me again.
Prisoner of the moment.
I don't think he's been that bad. No,
he hasn't been that bad.
Drops.
It's like they were just drops in a bad spot, but like everybody's had drops. Lance has had 10 against him. Like, I don't know. I just think that it's just don't be a prisoner of the moment. We'll see what happens in the regular season. Because even George Kittle had drops last year. So,
and we've talked about this with the whole going from a soft ball from Jimmy to a complete, as you refer to, piss missile from Trey.
Yep.
There's difference that these receivers got to get used to. And we saw in practice this week, Russ Welker was the wide receivers coach, was kind of coaching them up, trying to throw those
he
balls.
was firing them.
Yeah.
And I still don't think it was fast enough. I still think Trey throws harder than that.
Yeah. Fernando Jaquiski Tart on Talanoa Hufanga. He's doing his thing. He's balling right now.
Yep.
He is. He's
doing a great job.
Impressed.
I like him.
Yep. We need to see Sherfield against top corners in our division, though. Exactly.
Yep.
This is what Matt's talking about when he says don't be a prisoner of the moment. He's going up against 2s and 3s, which is he's still balling out, which is impressive. But let's see you do it against opposing team starters. There are some really good DBs in this division. So, yeah, hit like and subscribe, guys. Hit follow on Twitter. We're trying to get to 2K on YouTube and 10K on Twitter. Help us get there. Kali says we don't run a lot of 3 receiver sets. Ayuk will lead us in receptions, in my opinion.
We really don't. We run a lot of 11 personnel with 2 tight ends. Yep. We're doing like a lot of gun split close type of thing today. Yeah. We're both where the wide receivers were tucked in close, and it was nice. It was good.
Ryan Johnson, solid. Stay away from my D line. Hey, if you're making a good offer, man, come pay up.
I don't know what they're gonna get, but yeah.
The field in New York is horrendous. Did you see
the
video?
I saw those tweets. Yeah.
Oh man,
pretty bad.
That was tough. Collie, we could trade Hasty to Baltimore. Dobbins is done for the season.
Nah, I'm good. I'd rather keep him.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Baltimore any favors.
Right. Yeah. What's up, Mariah? Thanks for tuning in. Tommy Huxley says, I was the 20th like. Appreciate you. Hit like, guys. Come on.
Love it.
Did Dwelly get any reps this preseason? I think he did, right?
Yeah, but he's fine. He's firmly entrenched as tight end, too.
Yeah. Gosh, there's a lot of comments in here, guys. We're going to get to some and then wrap it up.
Yep.
Tart said his turf toe is the toughest injury he's ever had to deal with. I'm concerned that he won't last.
Me too, because, again, like I said, it's one of those things that could be career-long. That could follow you throughout your career. And that's why when people are like, hell yeah, he's back, man, Tart's back. And I'm like, pump the brakes. We don't want to have too high expectations for him. And then he doesn't live up to it. It's just that toe has to hold up. And it's a good first step that he was able to get out there. And I think that's why they played him so long. They wanted to see how he would do. And tomorrow's going to be like the big tell, right? It's not just, okay, I got through the game, but then how do you feel tomorrow? And then what's your recovery going to be like? Because playing one game isn't necessarily an issue. It's when you're like, okay, we played 3 games in 14 days because we were on the Thursday night game and then we were on, Monday Night Football and blah, blah, blah. Those are going to be the ones where you really have to worry about it. So I need to see more, but it's definitely a horrendous injury. So
yeah, and we talked about it in the preview show. You kind of went into a bit about what turf toe is. So yeah, man, hopefully that's a fair concern, I think. I was so happy we didn't get McDaniels. Yeah, it worked out, man.
True.
Yeah. Let me see. Debo also dropped passes. Ayuk is in wide receiver number 1.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yep.
I just think that it looks it just like the eyeball test tells me that Ayuk is a better pure wide receiver than Debo Samuel is, even though Debo's really good at the gadget stuff and Debo is awesome. I just think that Ayuk can potentially maybe not this year, but by like year 3, I think he's going to be a legit like number 1 guy.
Yeah. Especially with Trey Lance under center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So happy you guys went from 1.67 to 1.77 with subs.
We're working on it.
Thank you guys. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps. F the Ravens. Yeah, fair enough. Taron, so far it's looking like we struck gold again in the 5th round with Moore, Lenore, and Hufanga. 5th round's a nice spot for the Niners.
They're good at drafting in the 5th round. They just need to shore up that 3rd round, which has been really bad for them.
Yeah. Another super chat. Taron, thank you.
Thank you.
Will Kyle run more 3 wide receiver sets like in Atlanta when Trey is a full-time starter? Do you think that impacts anything, Matt?
There could be some offensive changes. I just think that when you have 2 tight ends like Kittle and Dwelly, that you don't necessarily need to run the 2 wide receiver or the 3 wide receiver sets. Just go with the 2 best ones.
Yeah, that's fair. Let me see. Great show, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Josh Erickson. Matt went into turf toe in our last live stream, the Raiders vs. 49ers Raiders preview. Go check that out. He went into it.
Go to the YouTube page. Yeah, it's on the last one.
Yep. Fernando Louis Riddick believed D'Amico Ryan could follow in Robert Saleh's footsteps. Yeah, we talked about this.
It's possible he needs more time, though.
Way too soon. Way too soon. Yeah. To even say this. What clown disliked? Maybe a Seahawks fan or a Raiders fan. Who knows? Wasn't Fred Warner a 3rd rounder, though?
Yeah, and that's their only good 3rd round pick.
Exactly. That's their one.
That's their one.
Joey says, Teron, I think Kyle runs more of the stuff he did in Washington with RG3. That's fair.
Yeah, CJ Beathard was a 3rd round pick. I think Joe Williams was a 3rd round pick.
Was Dante a 2nd or a 3rd? He was a 2nd.
Dante was a 2nd, but Witherspoon was a 3rd round pick. Yep.
Trey hasn't proven to me he is better quarterback right now to start week 1. From
definitely not, and that's why Jimmy's going to start. Today was made clear because Jimmy looked like midseason Jimmy. Like Jimmy looked pretty good today. I'm not going to lie. He made some really good throws.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a couple more comments and wrap it up. Josh Erickson says bootlegs, baby.
Yep.
Best 3rd round pick has been Warner by far. Yep.
Easily.
Yep. Best linebacker in the game under Kyle, at least. Yeah, we got you. Dante Pettis trade up looks awful, even in New York.
That even looks bad too, man. They need to stop trading up in the 2nd too, because that's Aaron Banks, same thing.
Yeah. Josh Erickson. I kind of like CJ. He's got heart.
I mean, that's cool. You could like a guy and then acknowledge that he sucks too.
Yeah. Let's see. Fernando says the 49ers couldn't stand pat at 12. No, they needed to trade up to 3-take quarterback they didn't think is ready to start. Makes perfect sense. Oh, he's quoting Grant Cohn.
I don't know that that's a quote. I think it's a paraphrase of the tweet that he sent out earlier. But I think you guys are misreading what Grant's saying. I think that what Grant is saying is that this fan base wants a quarterback that's going to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and because Lance is so rusty, he's saying that he's saying Trey needs to hurry up, otherwise the fan base is going to get impatient.
That's a fair reading of it.
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
Not that they should have taken Mac Jones, because Grant has been on the Trey Lance train the entire time, and he's not jumping off.
No. Yeah. A shock. I feel Saleh as a head coach itself is a season too soon. I think he's ready for it. He was talked about it the season before this one.
It's just going to have a hard time because it's the New York Jets.
Yeah. Tara, we traded down and got Banks though.
Yeah, whatever the trades are, don't trade in the second round.
I'm sick of these being Nick back to Shanny. Peeps Mullins is trash. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens though.
Yeah. All right, guys. With all that said, we're going to conclude this episode of the Red Gold Center podcast, recapping the 49ers 34-10 win against the Las Vegas Raiders. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and you can catch us on probably Wednesday with a new episode of Niners News. We'll go over all of the roster cuts.
Yeah, they're going to be cutting down to 53, so we'll bring that to you. No football next week, but we're still going to have a live show next weekend. So we're going to be gearing up for it'll be our season preview episode. We'll go over the schedule. We'll kind of figure out where the traps are, what the 49ers can do to really win, what we want to see out of them. So that'll be special for you. And then after that, it's regular season time, baby. Right. So it's getting there. This was the dress rehearsal, and it's been awesome. So go ahead and follow us on all our social media accounts. Click like, click subscribe. Do all the stuff. The algorithm loves it when you guys interact with us. We love having you here. So until next time, as always, go Niners.